Hello and welcome to ETCFO. Today we have with us Ketan Merchant, who's the CFO of Fino Payments Bank, who is soon going to list for the IPO on October 29th. Hello and welcome, sir.
Thank you, Vartika. My pleasure.
We are also joined by Nidhi Chugh, who's part of the ETCFO team. A lot of new things are happening in the payment bank space. So what are the new trends in the space that are, driving growth, and what are the challenges ahead for you?
So, firstly, the payment space or the digital payment space, that is on the growth. People have started accepting alternate banking channels. Okay, COVID has also given the right impetus to that, from a convenience perspective. So the growth trajectory for the overall payment space is essentially absolutely good. Even the CRISIL report is saying that this space is expected to grow at a 25% CAGR up to FY25, and will take it to INR 3,500 trillion kind of the payment industry. So from a growth perspective, it is good. There is enough of opportunity which is there for everyone, and to grow. The mindset or the consumer behavior is more going towards convenience. As I said, the acceptance of the alternate channel has been enhanced by pandemic. Otherwise, also it was penetrating. So that's where these are my views in terms of the digital payment space.
Ketan, I understand that you're really excited for your upcoming IPO now.
I am. We've done all the right things, and in a COVID impacted year, we've quarter by quarter for last 7 quarters, we've seen profitability and growth. We are definitely on a high in terms of IPO.
So tell me something, Ketan. How do you sustain your profitability? There is so much competition in the payment space. How are you able to sustain the profitability?
Nidhi, that's a very, very good question. Okay. Yes, there is competition, but let me just tell you, there is ample opportunity. For us, it is about the target segment. We are, if we categorize India into a pyramid, we cater to those 50% or around 70 odd crores of Indians which come in the middle bracket. For the top end customers, there is excess competition. There are all big boys who are going to looking at a pie for banking. For us, it is a middle segment which we are looking at. How do we sustain? As I said, for each quarter on quarter, we have grown. How do we do it off? We have a very lean operating model, asset-light operating model. We have more than 750,000 distribution points or banking points. So whenever we enhance that banking point, we do not pay any capital cost. So we are an asset-light business. 71% of our cost is variabilized, which means we earn and then we pay. So if we do not earn, we do not end up paying. So we do not believe in fixed cost or a fixed asset overhead as well. It is only about a variabilized cost model. In terms of competition, there are another people also there, the players. They are into relatively different target segment. We are into a different target segment. Even if there are crossing happening amongst target segment, the opportunity, as I said, quoting the CRISIL report, is huge for us to grow. We will focus on growth, and the model which I explained, the leverage which has started coming us, will generate profitability for us.
Looking forward to listening to more profitability news. And tell me something.
So, Nidhi, I'll just tell you, the unique proposition which we put across is that, we are a fast-growing, profitable fintech. We normally do not see a combination of two. So that's our unique kind of proposition: fast-growing, profitable fintech. Back to you.
What are your expansion plans after raising the funds in IPO? What do we expect from Fino Bank now?
Oh, that is good. That is good. As I said, we apply very judicially in terms of our capital usage. The new funds which are coming, the primary issuance, which is INR 300 crores, we are intending to put that into technology and digital. So more than 3/4 of the new primary funds raised will be utilized for technology and digital overlay. We building digital teams so that we can provide services to our target segment customer through digital as well. That will also lead to cross-sell. In terms of expansion, as I said, last year, we were adding 1,000 new distribution points, or the merchants point as they call it. In this year, we are adding 1,100 new merchant points every day. That is how we are doing. It's all about expansion. We want to be there in terms of Fino, where everyone, it's like a doorstep banking. A gully Fino is what we say. Liabilities, we have innovated some products. For us, it is it's a fintech with a regulatory license. As we speak, we open nearly 190,000 to 200,000 accounts on a monthly basis, and that's where we are intending to grow, which will help us to cross-sell as well. So Nidhi, that's where our growth drivers will come through. In terms of how will the business grow from here on? What is it that we are going to do? We will be, as I said, for us, a digital overlay in every product which we are doing is there. Currently, CASA and CMS are contribute somewhere around 12% of our revenue pie. These are the growth drivers, as I said, is what we are essentially looking at. Micro ATM, which is our core product. I don't know whether you've seen this. This is a micro ATM. This does the service of an ATM. Cost of this, 4,000. Cost of a traditional ATM is INR 550,000. So Nidhi and Vartika, that's how we revolutionized. So we have a platform ready. We are expecting to grow. We have the growth trajectory coming off. So, and because of the leverage coming in, we are intending to grow faster than the industry is where we are looking at.
At this point in time, what does this IPO mean for your business? You've partly touched upon a few aspects, but from a strategic point of view, what does this IPO mean for the business, sir?
See, there are a couple of things out here. As I said earlier, 7 months of consecutive growth and profitability, emerging victorious in a COVID year, and in COVID and non-COVID times as well. Also adds an impetus to our technology and digital drive. As I said, everything which we do, whilst we have physical touch points coming through, our first innovation or the first thought comes through technology. So for a Fino 2.0 version, this IPO or the primary proceeds will facilitate the conversion. We are facilitating Indian consumer to go towards digitalization. We tap them early in the customer journey and help them in digitalization. So for us, it is also about demonstrating how good India or how fast India goes into digitalization. And here, when I'm saying India, it is not only an urban Indian. It is about the tier 3, tier 4 or rural Indian. How are we transforming them, and how kind of services which we are giving them and taking them to a digital platform.
Are you planning to invest next financial year as compared to this financial year?
See, there are two things out there. We are in the midst of this thing. So H2 is where we come through. We have plans in terms of our investment of the 300 crores, which is coming off. Okay, we intend to consume it over next 12 to 18 months period in a phased manner. So we have a project plan which is ready. How do we want to do it off? Which is a priority item, and how we'll do it off. One more thing which which is point to reckon is, in the past we've been the non-glamorous boys. We do not believe in too much of showbiz. So we're also going to enhance our branding and marketing in times to come as well. And that is also partly where our primary issuance will be utilized for. So it's over the next 18-month period in a phased manner is what we're looking at.
All right. Nidhi, over to you.
Ketan, I want to know, what benefits do you see out of this IPO fundraising?
So as I said, the benefits is it will give a business impetus. We are growing fast. Right. As I said, Nidhi, over last 2 years, our CAGR, currently we do INR 1.3 trillion of transactions. So we are not a traditional bank. We are a fintech. We are fast growing. This INR 1.3 trillion transaction is with a 71% CAGR growth over last 2 years. Okay, and including a COVID impacted year where I mentioned where we grew by 41%. For us, it is about the next phase of growth. How do we pick up the momentum? How do we go into Fino 2.0? How do we invest it at the right place? How do we enhance our branding? How do we do it visible? And how do we convert our customer, the 70 crore Indian, which we are looking at in the middle pyramid segment, into a digital kind of a play? IPO definitely helps us in terms of creating that awareness. We have physical touch points, we have digital overlay. How is well we are connecting those dots in terms of converting the customer. So we're quite excited in terms of IPO and the journey of Fino 2.0, as I said, in times to come.
And I wanted to ask you, do you plan on entering the lending business anytime soon?
Nidhi, it's a very good question. For us, our current split is 97% of our revenue is fee-based income, non-funded income. So we do not take any credit risk. By virtue of our license as well, we're not allowed to take credit risk. So zero credit risk, zero operation risk, because it's a prepaid model. Coming to your question on lending, we already facilitate lending. We do gold loans for other partner banks, and we get a facilitation fee. In regards to our plan of future, okay, if you're alluding towards an SFB or a universal bank, we have an option value. After 5 years of operating of a payment bank, based on the guidelines as we read now, we can have the option of conversion. Where does our mind lie? We are a fintech. We will continue on our transaction leveraging our transaction platform. Going forward, couple of years, if our target segment, the ecosystem which we have made for the target segment, if that requires us to explore, we will explore at that point of time. Currently, we do not intend to immediately take credit risk. However, we will be providing credit referral. We are enhancing. We are going into consumer loans and merchant loans as well, wherein through partnership without underwriting is where we will, facilitate credit, and we will get a fee for that.
One other last question that I do have for you is that, do you see yourself? How do you see yourself in the next 10 years in terms of risk, in terms of growth in the payment space, in terms of the future, your future growth, and like an overview of what is going to be Fino Bank's future?
See, I'll be very honest with you. Decade is too hard to predict for everyone, any one of us. But I'll just give you my vision in terms of what we are thinking of. Okay. As I said, we are just scraping the surface. Our opportunity is huge. The ecosystem which we made will enable us to leverage it quite a bit in times to come. For us, it is a funnel which we have created, or the platform which we've created. We have evolved. I think Nidhi and Vartika, you ought to know that in 2017 we had 2 products, which was BC banking, business correspondent business, and remittance. 2019, we had a larger pie coming from micro ATM on AEPS, Aadhaar enabled payment system. 2021, we have a CASA and CMS getting added to it. So we are evolving. For us, it is about innovation at its core. We will do everything which is required for providing banking services for our target segment or for our emerging Bharat. One thing I can tell you, Nidhi, whatever we'll do it in an asset-light manner. We will not go a traditional brick and mortar business. Fixed cost is not in our DNA. We will continue to be asset-light. We will keep on adding products in times to come. So in simple terms, when our endeavor is that if anyone thinks of financial services, he should think like grocery. If I want to pick up grocery, 100 meters, I will get grocery. So from a perspective of financial services, he should have a Fino point or the Fino services available every 100 meters for doing banking services. And this is not only into urban India, but this is all across Bharat, as we say, the emerging India as well. It's ecosystem and leveraging Fino, resonating that. That is our vision.
Over to you, Vartika.
Thank you. So, last few questions for you. Starting with that, what are the challenges for you as a CFO going ahead?
Yeah, that's a very, very nice question, Vartika. When the company is essentially growing at a 71% CAGR, okay, you feel nice that all your strategies are getting implemented. But at the same time, you have to be cautious as well that, with the fast growing competitive world, are we enhancing the infrastructure as much? Are we enhancing the risk mitigation as much as well? With the kind of plans which we have, one of the things which I balance and I attempt to balance is between growth and at the same time enhancing the back-end infrastructure. So that is something which is there. And that is true for everyone, that is true for everyone, but more from a CFO lens. So, for me, it is about right investment, which will ensure that my infrastructure, either in people, in risk mitigation, everything is foolproof for me to go through. So, grow as we have grown, or the kind of growth which we are looking at. The other aspect which is there is definitely every 2 years there is a market disruption which is coming. In certain cases, we've been the disruptor as well. I showed you micro ATM, 55% market share is what we've done. Second point which I keep my guys on to is innovation. So we have separate teams which we think and we dedicate that you think ahead of the market. What is it that the target segment is going to look at in 2 years' time? So that is where I am insisting on investment. Third thing, which typically most of the CFOs worry, and I do not worry, is about cash burns. In that sense, I'm one of the luckiest CFOs. The DNA of Fino itself is no cash burns. So, I do not have people or, the CEO or the business guys pushing me that I want to increase growth at the cost of profitability. We do not believe in cash burn. So I am in a relatively comfortable zone out there. Second thing, I think Vartika, and maybe the last thing to Vartika and Nidhi to worth knowing is, in anticipation, we have variabilized our model. 2 years back, our manpower cost was 30% of our total OPEX cost. Now it is in the range of 17%. So we are not going fixed cost model. We have already variabilized our model. So that gives me a lot more comfort in terms of sustainability and growth. As we speak, 71% of our cost is variabilized, which means we only end up paying a variable commission when a transaction is there, when we earn. So with a relatively fixed cost model and no freebies, I am relatively at more peace as compared to what otherwise I would have been given the growth which we've had.
Right. And sir, just for my understanding, you've talked about an asset light model and going forward to continue with something like that. But you also have some physical branches across India. So are you planning on optimizing those? Keeping in line the focus that you've just mentioned?
Yes. If your question is, are we going to grow via the branches mode? My answer to that is no. We will leverage the existing branches. We will not be growing through the branches network at all. Just a minute, sorry. We will not be growing through that. We will still grow. We will go through our distribution network, which for us does not entail any capital cost. For last 15 years in the emerging Bharat, Fino, we have created a trust factor which is there. And by making the neighborhood shop as a banker, we further enhance that trust for the emerging Bharat or the tier 3, tier 4 and the rural area. That is how we will go through it off. We will definitely look at branches, but the branch model is not the way which we are looking at. Branches would be support centers for generating trust and for facilitating our distribution points.
Will you also be reducing the branches going forward?
I think we've done wherever we had to reduce it off. We've already done that. So as of now, we intend to be in a status quo because that will be required. We require regional presence as well in terms of enhancing our trust. So we will be continuing our branch network as it is now.